so much for joining us this afternoon. We are very pleased to have a couple of gentlemen joining us this afternoon from Craig Hospital in Colorado. Mr. Oak Reile, the activities director at Ben Franklin Elementary School, Ben Franklin Junior High School, I should say. Oak Reile joins us this afternoon. Hi, Oak. How you doing?
Not too bad. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. And also joining us this afternoon is the principal from Ben Franklin, Mr. Shane Martin. Hi, Shane. How you doing?
Dan, I'm doing well. Thanks. Oh, good to hear your voice.
Yeah, same here.
Well, Oak Reile, who is aptly named. Oak Reile and I go way back. He was a senior fullback for the Valley City Highliners when I was a sophomore center. I don't know how that worked out because I think he was bigger than me at that time anyway. Oak Reile is the assistant principal and activities director at Ben Franklin Middle School. Oak suffered a devastating fall. He fell from the ramp of his delivery truck, fracturing his neck and injuring his spinal column back in May, finding himself wheelchair-bound and receiving treatment at Craig Rehab Hospital in Colorado. And so we wanted to talk to Oak about the accident, what happened and what rehab is like, what he's going through. Oak, did you have a good day so far today?
Yes, it's been beautiful out here. Had physical therapy this morning, and then other activities on my own. So it's been a good day.
Oak, tell everybody what you told me about your rehab person, your PT person today.
Oh yeah, young lady that I have, and that's been working with me for just over 3 months while I've been here. One of her favorite comments or sayings to me is, if you ain't crying, you ain't trying.
Did she get you in tears today, Oak?
Close to it. I was sweating anyway. So.
Hey, Oak, if you don't,
she's good.
She sounds like she's good, and somebody who pushes you a little bit.
Yes, definitely.
Well, Oak Reile, who is activities director and assistant principal at Ben Franklin Middle School. Oak, tell us about what happened in May, your accident. What was going on? What happened?
The morning of May 26th, as I'm making my first stop around 4:30 in the morning, beautiful spring morning, I'm coming out of the back of my semi-trailer with a load on my two-wheel cart, and I slipped and ended up, as I fell with the load on the two-wheeler and myself, I caught the edge of the ramp with my neck and ended up face down on the parking lot, searing pain between my shoulder blades, and tried to get up, and I couldn't. I could move my arms, my hands, but I couldn't. Other than that, I couldn't do anything. And fire rescue arrived shortly thereafter, and then the ambulance, and I was taken to Essentia Health that morning, and I was paralyzed basically from the armpits down. I couldn't move anything.
Oak, who?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Who called the ambulance when you were? I mean, it's 4:30 in the morning. Did someone see the accident happen?
Yeah, the nighttime manager Jeff was on. Super young man, and he came out along with one of the customers right away, and telling me don't move, and that they were calling 911, which is fantastic because there are some stores that we deliver to that time of day that no one is there, and you have a key to get in, and so very fortunate that this is Simonson's on Main, that they're open and someone was there.
So you get to the hospital, Oak. What'd they do?
At that point, CAT scan, X-rays. My wife is an RN, and she works at Essentia Health, and shortly thereafter, I was able to make a phone call to her, and I didn't know the full extent of my injury, so I told her I'd fallen, and she's on her way in, and she's thinking, okay, well, I broke some bones or whatever, and once she got there, realizing that no, I was paralyzed, and with COVID, she she had been displaced within the system. And so she was not able to stay with me. And I was very fortunate the next early afternoon I had surgery about 2.5-hour surgery to relieve pressure on the spinal column. Dr. Sirkin, who's a surgeon for them, did an excellent job. And then my wife worked diligently and wouldn't take no for an answer to get me out here to Craig Hospital. And on June 4th, we flew out AirMed to Craig. And on June 11th, I had my second surgery out here. And that's when they did take the C6 and part of my C7, put 2 rods in, and then also put a plate in the front and screws, and took fragments out of there. And 2 days after that surgery, on June 13th, I was able to start moving my left leg while I was still in Swedish hospital. And Swedish is connected to Craig through a series of tunnels.
Okay.
And then, started the road to recovery, and with physical therapy, occupational therapy, starting out several hours a day and building up to 7 to 8 hours a day. July 3rd was the first time I started to move anything from the waist down on my right side. And since then, it's been kind of a whirlwind where, again, with technology here, they're on the breaking edge, trying new things where they have electrodes to stimulate your muscles and get them firing in the right order, so that when you're riding, for example, a stationary bike, when you're pedaling that, the motor will get your legs going, and have the muscles firing in the order that they need to between your glutes, your hamstrings, your quads. And so the goal is, hopefully you will be able to start moving things on your own. And when you do, then, you're not atrophied. And so I've been very fortunate where I'm considered an incomplete for the spinal injury. And so I still have, connecting from, the head all the way down through your different muscles and ligaments in the legs and feet. And so I've gone from totally, relying on a wheelchair to with physical therapy and occupational therapy, where I've been able to be up on a walker and unassisted within that walker, going up to say 450, 460 feet in a 6-minute period, because they're doing time tests to see where you're at to be able to compare apples to apples.
Yeah, Oak, is the prognosis something you're happy about? What are you looking forward to being able to do?
Hopefully walk on my own. I don't know if that will actually happen, without assistance. When I say without assistance, Dan, where I may need crutches, I may need a cane, or I may have to stay with the walker, but, I'll take it. It's every little gain that you get, for example, 2 weeks ago to get up on my hands and knees and to even crawl, was a chore, because you're relearning everything from scratch to make those connections again. And, you have to, like, one of my sons was just out here this last week, and as he's in the classes with me, I was giving him grief. I said, yeah, when was the last time you had to think about, make sure your heel touches, you lock your knee, you tighten your glute as you're walking, and you have to think about that. And that's what the PTs and OT people are, working with you and reminding you, doing a great job of getting you to think of what you have to do and then giving you the tools to do it.
Oak Reile is joining us, activities director and assistant principal at Ben Franklin Middle School. Suffered a terrible fall in May and is at Craig Hospital Rehab Center in Colorado. As you've just heard, trying to get better. He's joining us on KFGO. Also joining us this afternoon is one of his best friends, the principal at Ben Franklin High School. Excuse me, I keep saying the wrong thing. It's Ben Franklin Middle School. It's Shane Martin, who's the principal at Ben Franklin. Hi, Shane. How are you today?
Dan, I'm doing well. Thanks for arranging this. It's great to hear Oak's voice and to hear for you to share his story.
Shane, the reason that we wanted to have you on is as Shane's kind of helping with the effort to raise revenue for Oak Riley's situation with Lend a Hand, and there's an auction that we want to talk about as well. So, Shane, take us through this. You're trying to raise revenue. Let's talk about the auction because it closes tomorrow at noon, right?
Yes, and I'm just part of a group that's working to help raise money for Oak. It was not easy to get Oak to even agree to allow us to help him. He spent a lifetime serving. He would be the first one to help people out, but the last one in line to get help from people. That good German stubbornness, and I mean that in the best way. But
he gets that from his dad.
I think he probably does. We have partnered with Dakota Medical Foundation and Lend a Hand Up, and there is an online virtual auction through Lend a Hand Up where we are raising funds. There is also just a straight benefit fund through Dakota Medical Foundation where they will match 20% up to $5,000. So it's been a great partnership. You're right, the auction ends tomorrow at noon, so there's still time for people to get on and bid, and then the benefit runs through October 31st. Okay.
So how do you go there? Is it lendahandup.org? Is that correct?
You could go that way, or all one word, auctions.lendahandup.org. That's auctions.lendahandup.org. And that'll take you right to Oak's auction site.
Well, I hope everybody will go out there, and I hope everybody will be generous. If nothing else, do a Google search for Oak Riley fundraiser for Lend a Hand. That's what I did today, and it took me right to the page. And as a matter of fact, I'm on the page right now. I'm at give.lendahandup.org. Check out and review. And the reason I'm here on this site this afternoon is because we're granting your Christmas gift, Shane.
Oh.
We've got $500 that I'm about to enter on the page for the Oak Riley fundraiser. And I'm not sure if my math is right, but I hope that takes you over that 5,000 limit that you guys were talking about.
You know, we were close this morning, and I'll bet it will do it, Dan. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Well, it's our pleasure. That's what the Christmas gift is all about.
Yeah.
We're happy to help out. Oak, you got to keep working. You got the tough job in all this. You got to keep getting better. Keep working.
Oh, definitely. And huge thank you to you, Dan, and to Shane, as well as, the businesses and merchants and just the people of Fargo-Moorhead area, and all their donations and efforts. Greatly appreciated.
And I know it is tough to sit there and take this kind of kindness because, we're all, brought up to be self-reliant, and no one more than you, Oak, but it gives us all a great feeling to stand up and be able to help a little bit too. So, Shane, I'm going to fill this block out. I'm going to try to get it done in the next commercial break, but it'll probably take me till the end of the show to get all the numbers registered in here. But $500 from the Christmas gift, and we hope everybody's Christmas gift for Oak Riley comes true this holiday season, and we see him walking around during the Christmas season on his own. At least that's what we all hope for. Oak Riley and Shane Martin joining us this afternoon about the Oak Riley fundraiser. Guys, thanks so much for joining us, and might be a little early, but Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Dan, thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks, guys. KFGO time is 4:24. Make sure you go to Lend a Hand Up. Be generous. Go to the Oak Riley fundraiser at Lend a Hand Up. Just do a googly search for it, and you'll find it. And please be generous, and let's get Oak back on his feet. You're listening to The Drive on the Mighty 790 KFGO.
The Solid Gold Show cranks in at 4 a.m. Saturday and rolls until 11 each weekend on the Mighty 790 News Radio, KFGO.
You've got a job to do, getting something fixed, rebuilt, unstuck. Get what you need at Max Hardware. Tough tools and bulk hardware. Save now during the Max Harvest Day sale. RV antifreeze is only $1.99 a gallon, and grade 8 bolts are on sale for $3.99 a pound. Get a 24-bin steel cabinet for only $99.99. If you've got work to do, shop the Max Harvest Day sale for more great deals. We're not just another hardware store. We're Max.
Colin Peterson's always put Minnesota first. Whether it's working with President Trump to pass a better trade deal for farmers, taking on the Washington bureaucracy to lower prescription drug costs, or standing up to his own party to protect our Second Amendment rights, Colin Peterson fights for what's right. Just listen to local hunter Derek Tollefson of Lengby, Minnesota.
Colin Peterson has our back. Colin is a dedicated hunter and angler himself.